Did you know that you can get free heat by installing one of these on your dryer? Which is actually one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard, because you have to plug your dryer into the wall and then that goes to the utility company. So therefore you're paying the utility company. So installing one of these can't really get you free heat unless you have a solar off-grid system like I do. But if you don't have one of those, you're not gonna get any free heat out of this. But what you are gonna get is the heat from the dryer inside your house, which could, well, of course, help heat your house and help humidify it. All right, that's basically what we're gonna do. Is we're gonna be installing one of these. It's kind of like an indoor dryer vent, but it has a little switch on it so you can change it from indoor or outdoor. Just one other thing that I have to mention with this is I don't see anything on here that says like it's UL listed or anything like that. So if you have a problem with that, you probably don't want to install this. But other than that, that's what we're gonna be doing today, is installing this indoor dryer vent thingy. If we open this up and take a look inside, this is the whole unit right here. It actually came with 2 white zip ties so you can attach your hoses onto each side. On the front here, there is a removable screen. This is basically the same type of screen that's already in your dryer. Some people say it's helpful if you put like some pantyhose or something like that, which will catch more of the lint, so you don't have lint or any extra lint, going into your laundry room, or for me, it'll be my basement, okay? And then this little door right here is movable with this little arm right here, so you can have it go outside, or if you flip it all the way up, the door goes in and it'll allow you to blow the hot air, wherever you're gonna be blowing the hot air. This thing also comes apart, which I will remove the top, and there is a little tiny flap in here just in case your screen gets clogged. It can bypass the air so you don't overheat anything like that. Okay, that is pretty much it. The instructions are pretty poor for this. It just shows pictures, so I guess if you can't read, that is a plus, but basically it just says to put this in the middle of your dryer hose, and then it shows a little arrow pointing to the door on step 2 and step 3, so closed or open. Step 4 is kind of the exact same thing as number 3, and then number 5 shows you putting the screen on and off, and that is pretty much it. Deflects heat outside during warm weather. Note, clean filter screen after each use, and then deflects heat and humidity in your home in cold weather. So it's kind of like a summer and winter setting, okay? Yeah, I guess you could technically, if you're going into like drywall or something like that, you can actually remove this door. You could potentially just throw some screws right through the back of this to mount it to your wall. I am not going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing something slightly different. So anyway, that's all the parts here. For the tools that I'll be using today, of course, will be a hammer drill because I am going into concrete. I don't technically need a drill with a Phillips head bit, but I am going to use it. And then the other tools over here, since I'm going into concrete, I'm going to drill a couple of holes and then insert these so I can have a couple of screws to mount everything on. Got some masonry drill bits, safety glasses, hearing protection, and I don't think I'm going to be using the 2 zip ties. I do have 2 extra really big hose clamps here, so I will attempt to use those. And I believe that is about it. All right, as mentioned, this all comes apart. The door comes out and everything. That can go right back together just like that. And then the lid here basically sits right up on top, just like that, and then you just kind of slide it forward. Now on the back side, there is these little, like, I don't know, it's kind of like teeth or something that you could hang this whole thing on. And that's basically how I'm going to mount mine. I'm not going to drill holes through the back of here. Basically, if this is sticking out of the wall, I'm going to be able to hang that right on there, and I'll have 2 screws. That way, if I ever have to remove this for some reason, then I can easily remove it. Alrighty, let's get to it. All right, back here at the dryer, we do have a really short run, basically just going right up there and outside. So I would love to mount this guy right over here, but we have this air intake right here for our furnace, so I think my best place is to mount it right over here, so that way I can come straight up from the dryer, and then we'll wrap around and then go out right there. So what I am going to do is pull this off, and then those little teeth that I was showing you earlier, I'm just going to line that up somewhere back here, mark the wall, and drill the holes. I'm just gonna figure out my location. I don't think it's gonna matter. I just need to have enough turn to go around to that. So we're gonna go right about here. Gonna mark the wall right there, there. Boom, got my marks. I got my little wall anchors right here. Put my screws in. We'll do a little test fit. Put the screen back on real quick. That is going to basically sit just like that. Top tube's gonna go outside, bottom one's gonna go to the dryer. Nice. All right, I actually have another set of hose here. This is the aluminum foil type. I don't remember if this one's UL listed or not. This one right here that we have, we bought from Lowe's, you know, like 20 years ago, so I would imagine it's UL listed, but I don't think it's gonna be long enough whenever we cut it. That's why I bought this one, just in case. Boom, there we go. All right, so we'll take the hose off from down here. Boom. Alrighty, down here we're gonna be putting on the new hose to the back of the dryer. If we can get it on there. This one doesn't seem as big. That's what she said. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna put our hose clamp on there. I don't think this one has to be too tight, otherwise you'll end up smashing the outlet port from the dryer. So just snug. We'll just kind of set this up there for now. We're gonna get our good duct or tubing length. I think that length looks pretty good. We will cut him. Boom. Just like that. We'll take our other hose clamp and we will set that over there. Right, set our deflecto on. Maybe? I guess I could probably take this apart. That might be a little bit easier. Take a look at the inside. There we go. Got it all the way on. Next thing we got to do is put on our clamp. Now we can temporarily set it on the wall so we can get the upper length. And this front screen basically acts like a lock so the top won't come off. Boom. Do that. Now we're going to install our hose up here. We're going to route it around over here and down into the deflecto. Boom. Finally managed to get that on there. Now we need to put it on the deflecto. And we'll put it back together. Boom, and we're practically done. The only thing I'm going to do is mount that up a little bit higher so it looks a little nicer. And to hold this up, I'm going to use some of this strapping right here. You can get this practically anywhere. Ace Hardware, Lowe's, Home Depot, you know. But you can get it anywhere. Boom! Deflecto complete. All right, so that was really, really easy. I know it's a little hard to see, but coming out of the dryer, going straight up into the deflecto so we can go outside or inside right there. And remember, there is that emergency bypass inside. So if this screen gets clogged because you're not paying attention, it'll go ahead and bypass outside, which we have going right through here, straight outside. I actually do have some clothes to dry right here. Got it. Okie dokie. Turn you on. Boom. Deflecto. Oh. All right, quick side note. I would suggest the first time whenever you use this is to flip the little arm so you can vent outside. That way, if there's any sort of dust or debris or lint or anything like that, you can send it straight outside, and then a minute later, maybe open it up and get your free heat. That way you won't end up getting all that crap in your face like I just did. Anyway, the installation really didn't take very long, maybe, I don't know, 12 minutes. I think the longest part for me was moving the camera around, and that was pretty much it. Alrighty, so now we are extracting our free heat from the dryer right here. Just kidding, you're not gonna get any sort of free heat because obviously you have your dryer plugged into the wall and you pay the utility company. The only way you're gonna get free heat from this and from your dryer is if you have a whole home battery backup system, kind of like I do. Otherwise, if you live here in the Midwest, in Nebraska, you're gonna pay roughly 9 to 10 cents per kilowatt hour. And the dryer probably pulls 5 to 6,000 watts. And you're gonna drive for maybe 1 hour. You do the math, that's how much you're gonna pay to get your free heat. Anyway, besides the free heat, you're also gonna send out any humidity from the wet clothes into your house, and it also smells good, which is nice. And actually, there's one other benefit that you could potentially get out of one of these is if you have a hybrid water heater. A hybrid water heater basically tries to extract any hot air that's, in the surrounding area, and it goes through its condenser and then heats up your water heater, and then it spits out cold air and actually removes moisture from the air. But one of the benefits of having this kind of near your hybrid water heater, or at least maybe in the same room, is you're going to get all the heat from this, which your water heater is going to take and convert that to heating your water, therefore making your hybrid water heater just a little bit more efficient, which is a win-win in my book because I'm not only getting free heat or recycling the heat inside, but I'm actually making my water heater a little bit more efficient. Anyway, we've been running the dryer for like 30 or 40 minutes, so everything is nice and hot. What I was gonna do real quick is just take some temperature readings of this little box here, just to give you an example of how hot this will actually get. All right, I've got 2 different ways to measure this. I don't know how well each one of these will show up on camera, so I'm going to be using both of them. First one we're going to use is the infrared thermometer. This is from Harbor Freight. It is a Cinetech, and I've had it for at least 10 years. We'll go to Freedom Units, and I'm just going to hit the box right there. Okay, max I'm getting on that is 107.5 degrees. If we switch that over to Celsius, that is 42 degrees Celsius. I'll try to hit the screen as best as I can where the air is coming out. All right down here, the max shows 115 degrees Freedom. If we switch that over to Celsius, that is 46 degrees Celsius. And then finally, this guy right here, which you're probably not going to be able to see. If I go on the outside where I took the very first reading, this is showing 110, 112 right up here in this corner right up here. And then if I turn it to the screen, it's actually showing 128 degrees Fahrenheit. So quite a bit difference from the infrared. We're actually up to 130 right now. And this might go up and down as you use it because your dryer is going to turn on those heating elements, on and off. So we got up to 134.7 so far. So overall, not too bad. I can actually reach over here and touch this, and it is not super hot. I'm not gonna burn myself or anything like that. And then the last couple things I had to say was, whenever I bought this is the cheapest one I could find on Amazon, and it was like $16, whenever I bought it, which was honestly like 6 or 7 months ago. I planned to do this much earlier, but I just didn't get to it soon enough. So this was $16, and I probably paid I don't know, maybe like $6 or $7 for the ducting up here. And I had basically everything else, like this strapping that I had up here. You can get this basically anywhere. Maybe you don't even need anything like that, but that's probably another $5 for a big roll of it. And that was basically about it. So maybe $25 for the entire setup. And now I can send all the extra heat from the dryer inside. Now there was obviously many other options, but they were just more than what I wanted to pay at the time. But I just looked on Amazon again, and it seems like a lot of the prices for the other units, which could actually be better than this one right here. I don't honestly know, but some of them you can get like a bigger exit box right here, and it'll have like a screen plus a filter so you can catch more of the lint. Some of them even have like a water catchment area that you can pull out and then dump the excess water. And then there's a few other options where you have the tube that goes down to like a barrel on the ground, and it has kind of like a similar setup. I don't know if any one of those would be better or not. I guess the main reason why I went with this option right here is because it has the door on the inside, and I can change it from summer to winter. All right, well, that's pretty much all I got. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure you put those down in the comment section. If anybody has one of these or one similar to these and has been using it for quite a while, let me know down in the comment section if it's working good, if it's terrible, if it's the worst thing ever. I would love to know about that. I'm sure everybody else would like to know that as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If this video was helpful in any way possible, make sure you like that smash button on your way out, and I'll see you on the boom. Deflecto. Oh, I think you kind of want to stretch it out as far as you can so it's nice and smooth. That's what she said.